Hello everyone, welcome back to the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion playthrough. In this part, we're continuing more around I think it's the B line. We're gonna make a B line for those things. Yeah, yeah. You see, that's not a bee pun because a bee line is an actual thing outside of just bees. So I'm not a hypocrite. Definitely 100% not a hypocrite.
But, like, this is an 8-ball level, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not all bad. I should stress, like, a lot of the 8-ball levels are just more puzzling than escort missions.
The unfortunate thing about these kinds of physics-based things is that because of the way computers handle physics now, you're never quite going to get the same effect. So...
Thankfully, they do kind of avoid one of my least favorite physics kind of things in that the 8-ball has proper weight to it. Like, it feels like you're actually pushing something around.
Oh, yeah. We're thankfully...
Versus most physics things, it feels like everything's bouncy and only weighs, like, 3 pounds.
Thankfully,
Hi, Silver the Hedgehog.
We're finally past the early days of the Havoc engine. But, like, at the same time... It's a little... You can't really expect physics in games to be super consistent, even today.
Yeah,
so.
Thankfully the 8-ball's physics, I think, are generally fine. It's just a matter of sometimes trying to, depending on your weapon, getting it to push the way you want it to push can be a little frustrating. I do like the premise they do for this level, though, in that half of the level is going through it normally, and then you bring the 8-ball back with you, which is a clever way to kind of do it, and you're also not pushing the thing the entire time, which is also very nice.
The other thing about physics in games as a general rule, though, is that it relies very, very heavily on getting the kinesthetic feel of animations down, which is a lot more difficult than you'd think. Because, like, you can't actually feel... you can't physically feel the weight, so they have to get the visual feel of the moving object just so that it looks like it has weight. And that... It's like the way a character animates, or the way a sword strike's visual and audio effect makes it feel crunchy or slashy or whatever it needs to feel like. Except... you're more often than not doing this with completely, like, motionless objects, like an 8-ball, for example.
They do a lot with the speed, I think, is important in that they get it to move at the right speed so that it feels like you're actually pushing the thing. Like, you'll watch here, like, I'm gonna hit it with the blaster. Like, it speeds up relatively realistically, where after the first hit, it only goes a little bit, and then it does another hit. You can also actually, like, push the damn thing with your face. So, oh, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
What are you gonna do
Jump
now?
off and then shoot from it. Nope.
Yeah, you can,
you can get it back up.
Yeah, you can bounce it back up that way, thankfully. But yeah, there is also, like, a level where you're actually using the things as pool billiards. So, they do a good job with it. Like, even here, like, you can see that it's bouncing kind of through the air. It kind of looks like it has some weight. It doesn't, like, feel like your typical Havoc Engine box that just kind of flies through at ridiculous speed, if you know what I'm talking
sort
about.
of, like, hits the ground like it's made of styrofoam, yeah. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And, you know, even today, we still get cases of that. Resident Evil 8 has those flaming... torch lighting puzzles where you don't really have an effective way to manipulate the physics beyond just shooting the goddamn things, and they stop swinging too fast because they want the things to steady themselves quickly, but as a result nothing really feels like it has weight. And
so, like, you have to shoot at the
there are these flaming sconces on chains that you have to sort of knock into each other to light them, and then knock them into another torch to light the torch, and it starts a mechanism up. But you don't really have a way to strike them. I mean, you could hit them with your knife, but it doesn't really do much. You can bash them with your face. That helps sometimes. But like,
Why does bashing them with your face light them, but hitting them with your knife doesn't?
no, you can like push them, but they don't really
okay.
swing. But the thing about the way it ends up working is that they're programmed to stop swinging absurdly fast, so that you can like reorient yourself and shoot the thing, and hopefully get it to swing in the direction you want to instead of it flying off diagonally or something. The problem with this is that you often have to hit like 2 flaming sconces together into each other to light one with the other. But like, it's hard to get them to hit each other because by the time, because you need to get them both swinging toward each other quickly enough to make contact, but the first one you hit stops swinging before you get the second one moving. It's a little ridiculous. And that just sort of makes the whole thing feel jank. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that going around in physics-based puzzles.
I didn't really think that they would have a lot of physics-based puzzles in RE8, because generally when Resident Evil does puzzles, its puzzle is
Thankfully, like,
turn the thing until it works.
Thankfully, most of the physics puzzles are optional for like treasures and extra ammo and stuff. So it's not really a huge deal.
Yeah. This level's interesting because you only have bombs. You don't get a weapon at all. You just have to use the curling bomb, which kind of goes forward in a straight line and will paint everything along that line, and then blows up at the end. And if you hold it in your hand before releasing it, it will detonate sooner, pretty much, which is what is happening when I kind of just drop it and it explodes there. So that's something that I really like about this game as well, because in the other Splatoons single players, you kind of just could pick whatever weapon you wanted, sub-weapon you wanted, I should say. And you could, like, switch them whenever you wanted either, at least in Splatoon 1. So, like, they didn't ever really, like, make you learn how to use them effectively. And I get killed by bombs all the time in Splatoon 2. So, I think it is, again, an important thing to... I think that this does a much better job at simultaneously teaching players tricks that they will need to do to be good online, while also making it a fun level in their own sense.
Oh yeah, I can tell that. On the subject of like the paint though, I noticed when you were creating your character that there were 2 hairstyles, and one of them was like a green ponytail, and the other is the pink style you have. Does the color of the paint that you use versus the color of the paint that damages you change based on that?
So in multiplayer, it's just determines which team you are.
I just mean
blue
on
versus orange.
I mean on in this single player campaign, does the paint use...
You're always you're kind of always the pink hair, I think.
I think you're always pink, and I believe the bad guys are always kind of like that turquoisey color. Oh god, it's been so long since
is this a chat room with Yelta for?
Oh yeah, this is you get to see Pearl's Pearl's like rockin' early days. Oh yeah, I believe this is one where Pearl asked how to full screen, and then Marina says to press Alt F4.
Alt F4.
And then she's like, I can't believe that actually worked. Oh man. Oh, so he's got a 90s cell phone there too. And if you like zoom in really close, you can see that Callie and Marie are his background picture, which is again another cute little detail there. Because if you remember Splatoon 1, Callie and Marie the Squid Sisters are his grandkids, which is cute. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, the bad guys in this are always, I believe, that turquoisey color, and I believe you are always pink. In Splatoon 2 main campaign, you change color pretty much every level, but I believe the bad guys are always like kind of the purpley color you are. I think that's kind of their reason for choosing this color, is that since you're an Octoling, you are always the color that that the enemies in Splatoon 1 always were, is what they're doing. They did something like this in, I don't know if any of you guys have played Age of Empires, but that's a real-time strategy game. And in the
Wait.
single player, you are always blue,
Wait,
and
what-
the bad guys are always red. Yeah, we're playing Breakout with the 8 balls.
What is what?
Yeah. Yeah, we're playing Breakout with the 8 balls. But in Age of Empires, one of the game's story modes has a dream sequence where, like, the main character is dreaming that they were actually the bad guys. And in that one specific level, you play as red and the other team is blue. And it's kind of doing that same sort of feeling, which is not something I ever really noticed until now, but it is how it is. Gnarly grindage, man.
Tubular.
So, like, I don't mind the grind rails, but, like, I guess, I don't know. I don't get why so many games have them.
It's an easy way to put you on rails without specifically having a long hallway for you to run through. It's also a very controlled space. So you can have stuff going around in the background and give the player a means to look at them without having to worry about running off the edge or something.
It depends on which game is doing it and what they do with it. In this case, you're forced into motion, but you're also aiming and shooting at the same time, which is how the early Ratchet games handled it. At least some of the later Ratchet games got rid of the shooting entirely and just used the rail grinding for theatrical moments,
I feel, so, like, I get it for Splatoon because, again, it's like, okay, you have to use your sniper skills while moving, which is not, it's testing a skill set that you don't normally have to do with the sniper. Because when you're playing Charger online, most of the time you're hiding somewhere high up so that you can get good shots.
Yeah, you're a sniper, you're camping.
Yeah. But, like, I keep thinking about Sonic, and I'm like, after Sonic Adventure 2, where they realized, okay, the balance thing was neat, but most players it's not that big of a deal. Like, I wonder why they keep on bringing it back, other than it looks cool, I guess.
In Sonic, it's just like, it forces you into high-speed motion, It's just kind of, it simultaneously serves the purpose of creating those spectacle moments.
I see you changed your
get
weapon.
to zip
I
around
died
and
on this
loop
level a
around
lot.
and giving you a high-speed, jumpy moment where you can't stop, so you have to react quickly. Sometimes that's just what it does. But this is more like, functionally, this is a lot more akin to the Ratchet and Clank approach to that. And I feel like that's the version of rail grinding that gets emulated more often because it's the more interesting one. The rail grinding in Crash Bandicoot 4 was literally Ratchet and Clank rail grinding without the guns. So,
I really do need to play the Ratchet and Clank games. They are easily the PlayStation mascot that I've been the most interested in for the longest time. There's just no good collection for them on modern hardware at all. So, like, I hear from pretty much everybody I've talked to that Rift Apart is excellent, and I do want to try that
It's
too.
very good, yes.
But
well, I mean, spoiler alert for a playthrough we'll eventually get to someday is I did record Rift Apart for the channel.
Yeah, like, I do really want to play them. It's just a matter of, God, I should not have survived that.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you survived that.
I also shouldn't have survived that either. That level, I think, took me like 20 minutes to try to beat because I was the sniper is not my main weapon in Splatoon 2. I normally play Charger is the sniper. God damn it. I normally play Splatling, which is somewhat similar to the Charger in that you have to charge, but in terms of like practicality, like when you're playing Charger, you have to like aim and be precise. And when you're playing Splatling, you can just be and kind of spray wildly and then people die and it's great.
It's interesting that they made like a challenge focused on hitting targets while rail grinding really fast, because that sort of thing in Ratchet and Clank is typically just for getting optional goodies. You don't usually have to do more than just get to the end of the rail. So that's it. It's neat to see that being the focus of a level.
Yeah, and they don't overdo it, thankfully. There's like maybe 3 or 4 levels like that throughout the whole game. That one, in my opinion, is the hardest of them. Yeah, so this is the Fang station. where you pick up one of the things. It basically is just a glorified cutscene where you walk into it and then you get the thing.
You get it.
Uh-huh. And what is the thing?
Well, when we get the 4 things, we can go to the Promised Land.
No, but like,
Yep.
literally, what is the thing?
You'll find out.
It's a thing.
Yeah, you'll find out. It's got like knobs and crap on it.
Huh. Okay.
It becomes much more obvious what the 4 things are once you start getting multiple of them. And you do get to see all of them after each one because we drop them off by the definitely not sketchy telephone.
That was an inconveniently placed error.
I'm sure that error was definitely not put there on purpose. You can also get the 4 things in any order you want.
That's just
too.
like the perfect Mad Libs line. So,
Splatoon Mad Libs. It would be funny if you didn't just put poop for every noun and pooping for every verb, like every 8-year-old actually does. Today, I pooped BrainScratch Com's part on Poop 2 Poop Expansion. That's Mad Libs with every 8-year-old you ever did.
yeah, it is.